Hello, and welcome to this week's Makerspace Craft Kit. My name is Victor, and today we will be making cherry blossom paintings like this one. In your kit, you should have received the following paint colors and brushes along with a canvas frame. All you need is a paper towel and some water to clean your brushes. Let's begin. Grab your blue and purple paints. These are going to be your background colors. The blue will go along the top of the canvas, and the purple will go on the bottom. The first thing you want to do is lightly wet the surface of your canvas with the chip brush. This will allow for easier blending of the acrylics to give you a nice transition between the colors for the following steps. Now, open up the blue paint, and with the handle of the small brush, you're going to smear it along the top 2/3 of the canvas. You don't have to use all of the paint in case you want to go over it again with another layer once the background has dried. And you're going to do the same with the bottom third of the canvas using your purple paint. And just make sure to brush off the handle once you're done. You don't need as much of the purple as you do the blue, because the purple is a lot stronger. Okay, so once you've wiped off the handle, you're going to grab the chip brush and you're going to blend the two colors onto the canvas using a sweeping side-to-side motion, like so, and you're going to work your way slowly down the canvas and then back up. So you want to make sure to get to both sides of the canvas, and just without stopping, push right into the purple. Smooth it out and then work your way back up, and this blends the purple into the blue halfway into the canvas. Go all the way to the top and then back down. You can repeat this 2 to 3 times. If you feel like the paint is too thin, you can always wait for it to dry and then add another layer with what's left of the paint. Now, unless you're going to frame your painting, an optional thing you can do is paint the sides of your canvas with the leftover paint on your brush to give it a seamless look when it hangs on your wall. Once the background has dried, you're going to open up your brown paint and we're going to work on the cherry blossom branches. So with a small brush, add a small amount of water to the paint to get it a little runnier and easier to manipulate on the canvas. We're going to go from the bottom left corner towards the top of the canvas, and we're going to create a line by dragging and wiggling the brush upwards. Okay, and then you're going to repeat the motion just underneath the first line. And we're going to have to meet them at the top in order to create the branch outline. We're going to repeat this technique 2 to 3 more times along the middle and top of the branch. You can pick anywhere you want to start and just work your way towards the edge of the canvas. You can thicken any lines that you think that need it. These are going to be thinner, so you only want to thicken the bottom of these new branches, twigs. Okay, so you can thicken up the branch if you feel like it needs it, and then just begin to fill in the outline you just created. Now this part is optional, but if you wiggle your brush while filling in the brown paint, you can create some interesting textures to simulate wood. So you can just push down the brush and then make a wiggling motion. I'll show you in just a second. Like that. Now for each of the smaller branches, we're going to add 1 to 3 twigs using the same technique as before, only we're not going to thicken the lines, we're going to leave them as like really thin squiggles. So the lines for the twigs can go in any direction. The crazier and zigzaggier, the better. Since trees are an organic shape, there's not really any wrong way to do this. And the reason we want to keep it to 1 or 3 twigs maximum between each branch is you don't want to fill up the entire canvas and then make it look too busy. And then you can also add a brown to the sides of the canvas to continue the branch down along the sides of your frame. Just like I'm doing right here. And if you do feel like your painting is a little too empty, you can add thin and much shorter lines coming from the smallest twigs that you just created. Just know that the more twigs you make, the more flowers you are going to make to go over them. So we'll do a couple here. And again, you want to do maybe like 1 to 2 on each of the twigs. You don't want to overdo it. And if you make a mistake, you can just put a flower over it. That's what's nice about this painting. Okay, so next you're going to grab your black paint and a little bit of water, and we will begin making the shadows. So we want the paint to be a little bit runnier because we're only going to do some light, thin lines along the edge of the tree. So what I want you to do is imagine sunlight hitting the tree branches from one single direction. I'm going to choose the top right corner. And the opposite side of the tree from which the sunlight is hitting, that's where the shadows are going to be. So you're going to paint a thin line on that side of the branches. Just a very thin line along the edges of the brown paint. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to cover every single part of that side of the tree. Just where you think the deepest shadows might be. And if you feel like you went too far or you added too much black, you can clean off your brush and add some brown to the darker areas and mix them together for like a dark brown color, or you can wait until it dries and then just paint over it in brown. Right, now for the flowers. So cherry blossoms are easier to create than you think. They're just 5 dots placed in a pentagram shape like this one, and you just repeat it over the entire painting. So you're going to grab your pink and your red paints, and with the tip of the small brush, you're going to place those 5 dots anywhere on the tip of one of these twigs. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you just fill in the center if you think it needs it, or you round out some of those dots. An optional thing you can do is add a smear of red to the pink paint and then gently swirl them together. You don't want them to mix into a darker pink, you just want to swirl them. This makes it so you're painting with 2 colors at once, and it gives the flowers a little bit more depth when you're done. And if you're not sure where to begin adding flowers, you can start by creating 1 to 3 flowers at the tip of every twig and branch that you made. Once you've done that, keep adding flowers to a few of the branches until you've made bunches of 4 to 6 flowers on the end of your selected twigs. You can add flowers to the middle area of the twigs, not just the ends. Although you might want to keep it to 1 to 3 flowers in these areas until you've gone all the way around the painting and added flowers to every branch, just so you can see what areas need more flowers and what should be left alone. Once you've finished adding the flowers, you can grab your brown paint and go over any thin spots where the canvas is starting to peek through after drying. Once you're satisfied with how that looks, you can grab your green paint and your small brush, and we're going to create leaves on the tree by making small V shapes under the flowers and along the twigs. So you want to start with 1 to 2 of these V shapes on each branch. You can add more if you feel the painting needs more after you've taken a moment to step back and look at your painting. And that's your completed painting. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.